Good afternoon, everybody. Spittin' Cobra. My sister Betsy sent me these videos and asked me what my thoughts were about them. And it brings a lot of thoughts to mind. Is using these micro drones in the field, testing them, getting some data on them. These drones are really small. They can fit through a crack in the window, under a door. Really cool mechanism. However, this officer says, we're not using them where it causes privacy concerns. However, police use body cams and they delete the footage. How can he say that they will not use them where it would be illegal? And then it brings back to mind, back in the day when I was a kid, I used to watch shows like Star Trek and stuff. And they've actually brought technologies out of that show. People start thinking, hey, I wonder if I can actually invent that. And they have. So it just brings to mind, technology. It is advancing. And I truly believe sooner or later we're going to have a computer in our house that we're going to have to confront every day. And it will actually give us court dates if we break the law. Shit like that. It's going to come to fruition one day. Hopefully I won't be alive. Watch this video and just note, these are police officers. They break the law just as much as we do.
These drones, the new first responder.
Yeah, I think in certain circumstances you could call it that. They have goggles on and they have TV monitors that the incident commander can watch too. Gives real-time live information to the commanders.
What do you say to those who are concerned about privacy?
We don't really use it in a manner that would raise privacy concerns. We really use them solely to capture suspects that are in hidden spots or unknown spots. We don't use it for monitoring people. We don't use it for those sort of things.
Wait until you see what happens at this scene. Officers have given repeated commands for the suspect to come out with his hands up. The drone reveals a life or death situation. We'll show you what happened, and you'll meet the officer outfitting the drones just for the Sacramento Police Department.
To my knowledge, we are the first in the area, first in the region, possibly the first in the nation to be utilizing the micro-technology.
Officer John Azevedo is the self-proclaimed drone nerd at the Sacramento Police Department.
I can bonk into you and it's not even...
Keeps on flying.
Yep.
He is now outfitting an army of so-called micro-drones with lights and cameras. You used a baseball analogy. How does that go?
We say that if you can throw a baseball through a window, we can clear a house.
That is small enough to get in.
Small enough to get in through that hole in the window. We can get into the tighter spaces. We can get into the places that the other drones can't go. It really is a game changer from here on out.
We know you have a lot of questions about this new drone technology. One of those main questions might be, how much do they cost? What's the impact to taxpayers? Well, that one drone, $93.
It is much safer, and we feel it will save lives. And even though they're not very expensive, I'd pay a lot more to save somebody's life, both our officers and a community person.
Sacramento Police Chief Daniel Hunt.
I agree. We do need police out there. And this is good technology if they use it in the proper way. You've seen so many videos of mine where these cops do shit illegally to get you to confess, illegally to arrest you. You don't think they're going to use this drone properly? Chances are is your guess.
Says they are starting with a fleet of 12 police drones that have actually been used on a trial basis.
Yeah, we've only used it for a couple of months now, and we already have like 3 or 4 examples of either saving somebody's lives or definitely making something dramatically more safe.
This gentleman was wanted for warrants and other domestic violence-related charges, and we'd had communications with this person for many, many hours, and we'd lost that communication.
Officer Azevedo was the man behind the goggles that night.
We flew back in, and I was able to land right on his chest. We were looking for that chest rise and fall to see if there's any labored breathing or if any breathing at all. So we were able to go inside safely, make contact with him, take him into custody, and give him the medical treatment that he needed immediately.
You know, the case that comes to mind is the Stephon Clark case, where those officers go into a yard, they're coming around a corner, they think the person has a gun, it turns out to be a cell phone. Talk to us about that case and how this might have changed the outcome.
Yeah, I guess it might have, but it also might have not, because every case is different. So we want to hold people accountable, but we want everybody to be able to be healthy at the end of that. Both our officers to go home and for that suspect to face his day in court.
But then I had to ask, when it comes to these small drones that can provide police access to places they've never been able to go to before, what about privacy concerns?
We are not Big Brother. It says right in our general orders that we are not going to surveil people. If we have a legal right as an officer or officers to be there, to look at something, to see something, whether it be inside or outside, that's where this comes into play. And if we can be there, that can be there.
One thing is certain,
If we can be there, that can be there. Huh. That is one hell of a statement.
Minnow is on the forefront of a major new era in community policing.
There is a day coming, mark my words, I think we all know it's coming, where the officer jumps out of his patrol car and he presses a button on his belt and a drone pops out of the vehicle and goes with him. We are not far away from that.
Absolutely not. They are not far from that. They are not far from the day where there's a computer in your house that you have to check into every day, and if you cuss or break the law, a judge will come on there and say, hey, you have a court date. You're being charged with this charge. If you don't show up for the court date, an officer will show up at your house and arrest you. That day is coming. Folks, give me your thoughts on this. Spit and Cobra, bringing it to you real.